Welcome to my channel. Let us study English through story. Today's story is Learn English Story, The Art of Thrifting. On a quiet Saturday morning, Mia stepped out of her apartment with a canvas bag and a curious sense of purpose. She had heard many people talk about thrifting as if it were both an adventure and an art form. Mia wanted to understand why old objects held such strong stories, and why so many people found joy in searching through forgotten shelves and dusty corners. As she walked toward the small thrift shop on Elm Street, she noticed details she had never paid attention to before. The sunlight warmed the brick walls, the window displays changed every week, and customers always seemed to leave with smiles that suggested they had discovered a treasure. The moment Mia pushed open the wooden door, a gentle bell rang. The smell of old books mixed with the faint scent of polished wood. Every shelf was filled with items that once belonged to someone else. There were worn jackets, faded photographs, handmade cups, and even musical instruments that waited for new hands to bring them back to life. Mia began her exploration slowly. She brushed her fingers across the spines of novels, wondering who had read them before. She lifted a small ceramic bowl painted with blue flowers. It had a tiny chip on the edge, but the design was so elegant that she imagined it once belonged to someone who used it every morning with care. Mia continued moving deeper into the shop and discovered a wooden shelf filled with old vinyl records. She had never owned a record player, but she was fascinated by the colorful album covers and the stories they represented. One particular record caught her attention. The edges were worn and the title was faded, but a handwritten note inside read, "For the days when you need to remember who you are." Mia held the record for a few moments, feeling an unexpected sense of calm. It was strange to think that a stranger had left behind such a personal message. She wondered what they were going through when they wrote it, and why the record eventually ended up here. Somehow she felt connected to the unknown owner. She moved on to another section where old clothing hung neatly. She discovered a long beige coat that looked far more expensive than its price tag suggested. The fabric felt soft, and the buttons were crafted from real wood. She imagined the previous owner walking confidently through city streets, perhaps on the way to work or to meet friends. Mia looked around and noticed other customers who were also lost in their own thoughts. Each person seemed to be searching for something that would speak to them. Thrifting was not simply buying. It was discovering a story that matched your own. It was finding beauty in something that others had overlooked. After nearly an hour, Mia walked toward a corner of the shop that she had not explored. A small antique mirror stood there with a frame decorated with delicate carvings of leaves and vines. The glass was slightly scratched, but when Mia looked into it, she felt as if she were seeing a softer version of herself. She imagined the mirror hanging in an old house, reflecting moments of laughter, conversations, and quiet mornings. She finally decided to purchase 3 items: the ceramic bowl, the record with the handwritten note, and the antique mirror. None of them were perfect, but they each carried a sense of history that made them feel alive. As she approached the counter, the shop owner smiled warmly. He told her that thrifting was about giving objects a second chance, and that every item would reveal more meaning the longer she kept it. When Mia left the shop, the sun was beginning to set. She walked home feeling lighter, as if she had collected not just objects but lessons about simplicity and appreciation. She realized that the art of thrifting was not about saving money, although that was helpful. It was about seeing potential where others saw none. It was about discovering hidden stories and allowing them to become part of your own journey. That evening, Mia placed her new finds around her room. The bowl rested on her desk, the record leaned against her shelf, and the mirror reflected the warm glow of her lamp. For the first time in a while, Mia felt deeply connected to the beauty of ordinary things, and she knew she would return to the thrift shop again.